Just when we finally get a good live-action Superman movie, Paramount comes along and snatches up Warner Brothers. Honestly, it wasn't that good. Man of Steel was better. Are you out of your mind? Man of Steel was okay, but Gun Soup's flick represented all the goodness and hope intrinsic to the Superman mythos and character. Hope is just a buzzword. Man of Steel and Justice League were more hopeful, if you ask me. Snyder's works are cinematically well constructed, but they're also a bit sterile, cold, and distant. His concept of the characters is both inaccurate to the letter and spirit of the comics. Batman v Superman was a bit of a mess, but these characters can't be blamed for not being their full selves, when the whole point of this series is to see them come into their own and become the characters from the comics. Oh, so I have to wait until Justice League 3 before Superman is Superman and the Flash is the Flash? Why can't they already be that throughout? Why waste our time with more origin bullshit? Why waste our time with Superman getting his ass kicked and his dog doing all the work? Superman is supposed to have some kind of challenges, or there's no tension. Don't even joke about that, Pen Pen. Yeah, don't overreact. We're just having a spirited debate. Like politics? Because the political situation is pretty dire. More dire than the future of Warner Brothers, even. Ooh, I've seen All Good People. Nah, it's Roundabout. Roundabout? You just like that because of JoJo. Oh, like I've seen All Good People has a big meaning for you. You don't even play chess. Bah! Anyway, I need to review a shonen fighting anime. Let's get to it. I'll get the camera. Truth here, and it's time for more Otaku Evolution. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and contribute to the Patreon. It was about time to review a shonen fighting series. Hadn't done one in a while, so I figured I'd do it and pick something I hadn't seen in a while to see if it held up. And boy, it did not. Honestly, I think I just liked this when I was a teen because the theme song was Aces. Because how else would I have gotten through it? Something tells me I didn't. I barely got through it this time. I am, of course, referring to the 1997 TV adaptation of Nobuyuki Ansai's manga, Flame of Recca. Mediocrity abounds. But hey, at least I had a tournament arc that took up half of it. Hey, remember Yoshihiro Togashi's Yu Yu Hakusho? Remember the television series? Wasn't that a neat show? That had a team of 4, our delinquent hero, his muscle-headed friend, a feminine guy, and a short one with bad attitude. It had a tournament arc that took up a lot of episodes, actually 2 tournament arcs. Remember? And the series ended differently than the manga. Boy, was Yu Yu Hakusho a real banger of a show. Not necessarily a favorite, but just a really solid action property. Ah, if I were only reviewing Yu Yu Hakusho, and not Flame of Recca. So anyway, Flame of Recca features a team of 5. Our delinquent hero, his muscle-headed friend, a feminine guy, a short one with bad attitude, and a woman? It had a tournament arc that took up a lot of episodes, and the series ended differently than the manga. Boy, was Flame of Recca a real snoozer of a show. Not necessarily terrible, but just a really lackluster action property. Ah, if only I weren't reviewing Flame of Recca, but Yu Yu Hakusho instead.
My name's Recca Hanabishi. During the age of the Civil Wars, there were elite warriors with incredible skills who lived in the shadows. They were known as ninjas. Ninjas didn't live a glorious life because everything they did was undercover. I'm not sure why, but for as long as I can remember, I've always admired them.
Well, okay, I'm not really telling you the full context. You see, our hero, Recca Hanabishi, grew up always loving ninjas and showing off some of their skills himself. One day, he meets Yanagi Sakushita, a girl with the mysterious ability to heal people's wounds, and after a fashion, declares his intention to serve as her own personal ninja. For some reason, she decides this is normal, but attracts negative attention from his rivals, Domon and Fuko. Also stalking Recca is this guy Tokiya, who's interested in Yanagi for her resemblance to his murdered sister. Later, they meet a kid named Kaoru Kogane, who defects from the main antagonist to join the team. Together, they fight the forces of Kure and this rich asshole with weird eyes. Oh, also, Recca can produce flames from his right hand. Kind of important. Normally, this is where I'd talk about the characters. Running down their basic traits, how they interact with the others, hinting at some of their quirks and character arcs. But this is Flame of Recca, folks. Flame of Recca has characters that are pretty basic. They're like Gundam Seed characters, just kind of outlines of characters, rather than fully realized individuals. Recca is the stubborn, reckless one with kind of a temper, matching his fiery skills. Domon is the hard-headed meathead, who never turns down a challenge. Fuko is the proud one, who has difficulty asking for help. Tokiya is the standoffish loner type, often with vicious methods in combat. Kawaru is the jovial, snarky type, who often finds himself overwhelmed. Kure is a massive asshole who hates Recca for a past slight. Very past. Kara and Mori, our overarching, but usually off-screen villain, is a psychopath obsessed with gaining eternal life. And then there's others. Others that, for the most part, don't really matter.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Kondo the Fox.
A talking fox? Huh?
That's a katakugutsu.
Gunko,
Please don't be mad at me. He's my friend.
would you stop playing with your Madogu? It's not a toy.
It's just a stuffed doll. What's the big deal?
The most interesting thing about the main characters are their mystic Madogu weapons that make them powerful. Fuko uses a wind-producing Madogu. Domon uses a strength-enhancing Madogu. Tokiya wields a water-based sword Madogu. Kaoru uses a multifaceted weapon Madogu. And various antagonists utilize their own Madogu. Oddly enough, Recca doesn't require a Madogu to wield his flames. It's just an inborn power that he trains to master, summoning these fire dragons to use various fire abilities. But the Madogu come from an ancient ninja tribe called the Hokage, no Naruto jokes please, that Recca is actually a member of. The Madogu are an interesting gimmick, and one of the few interesting things about Flame of Recca. But enough foreplay, let's get to the tournament arc. Ah, the Underground Death Tournament arc. Tournament arcs are a strange thing, aren't they? On the one hand, they introduce a variety of usually colorful new characters with all kinds of mostly new abilities and ratchet up the action. Oftentimes, the animation gets a boost in parts of these things, and it's a great way to showcase our heroes' own skills. And what title didn't have a tourney? Dragon Ball made its bones that way. Yu Yu Hakusho, Baki the Grappler, My Hero Academia, Naruto, One Piece, Dead Man Wonderland, Black Clover, Hunter x Hunter, and even Mashal had tournament arcs. Okay, Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter were both Togashi, but he loves the trope as much as we do. Still, for half the entire run of the show to be a tournament arc, that's just weird. The Underground Death Tournament does feature most of the positives of your usual tournament arcs, but I don't know, it just seems kind of weak sauce compared to others. It's like, in addition of being half the series, it doesn't really tie up the loose ends of the series. And it is wrapped up in a single episode at the end where everything just kind of stops because the characters want to stand around waiting for further adventures that never come. I didn't feel a surge of catharsis at the conclusion of the tournament like I did at the end of the Tenkaichi Budokais, the Dark Tournament, or even the Chunin exam. Here it's just, yep, here's a tournament, okay, it's done, wasn't that neat? It just kind of happens.
He's made of rubber!
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum!
I've got to be honest, folks, because I watched all 42 episodes. I sat through all 42 average at best entries and absorbed its plot, characters, settings, and action. And frankly, I found myself impossibly underwhelmed by almost every aspect of it. If it's possible to be aggressively average, Flame of Recca pulls it off. It's not without its pluses. I love the Madogu, the fire dragons, some of the fights, and the wizard opening song. The background music, while not usually noticeable, is fine. The voice acting in Japanese is decent enough. The dub, well, it's blue water. And when the animation boosts, it's pretty solid. But I can take or leave most of the characters. Many of them are just blending together, and the plot doesn't really go anywhere. I kept watching this intently, desperately searching for positive things to say about it, but all I could think after every episode was, couldn't I be watching something better than this? I could be watching another shonen action show, for instance, even though it would probably take even longer to watch most of those. Ah well, I tried Flame of Recca.
Hang on to this for me. Come forth, my flame. Wow! Something inside me feels like it's gonna explode!
He removed the fire seal. Why, that fool!
And that's Flame of Recca, a wildly middling shonen action property that could probably use some kind of remake that's closer to the manga. Did I disappoint you, the viewer, by only briefly covering this show? I do my best to find the good in every title I review, but I really had to scrape here. I don't think you realize just how utterly boffo the opening theme song is, folks. It drew me in as a teen, and I thought for sure the show would be great too. Maybe back then I thought it was. But then I also thought Pokemon and Tenchi Muyo were superb. Tastes can change. Will I ever rewatch this show? I don't see myself doing it, but who knows? Tastes can change again. Well, that's enough Otaku Evolution for now. Next time we'll be revisiting that lewd looter, Lupin the Third. Until then, see ya!
But how can that be? I already destroyed those fireballs with my Nunos Tarashi.
Nadari wasn't beaten before, she was just lying in wait, preparing for my command. But she was getting restless and kept calling out to me.
Tony, Tony, Tony Chopper. Tony, Tony, Tony Chopper. Heal what fell apart, cure my broken heart. Am I enough? Oh, hi there. Penguin Truth here again. Times are hard for some people. I'm not exactly flush with cash myself. But you can help a great couple of folks by going to the GoFundMe on the bottom of the screen. And if you want to help me, you can contribute to my Otaku Evolution Patreon, link in the description. Any amount will help, whether it's $1 or, say, $40 a month. Especially that second amount. Okay, fine, just contribute to that GoFundMe. I'll survive. Probably. Also, trans rights are human rights. See ya!